We begin with a beautiful girl named Vanessa, a mind-blowing creative artist. Creek Falls Hospital hires Vanessa to do creative artwork for the kids' ward. Wallace comes across Vanessa while she is working and tells her how much he appreciates the painting sketch. In the meantime, Nate arrives and comments on the artwork of the ward. Nate approaches creativity from a different perspective. Nate adds that he didn't spend the money to decorate the structure with clouds and butterflies to hide its beauty. On the other hand, Vanessa retorted that the painting is for patients, not him, and that she has captured the spirit of community in her sketch. Afterward, Nate returns home, and his mom tells him the bad news that she has rented the guest house to someone for extra income. Iris says you had been gone for a long time and was empty too. Nate says his hard work and expensive degree are paying off for her. His mother, Iris, advised him to settle in a lovely room upstairs. Nate responds that the room's pipe always begins tapping unannouncedly. Iris advises using the available tools to fix the issue rather than whining. Nate says to give him the list of things that need fixing while he is at home. That evening, Vanessa goes to take a tango lesson. While practicing, Vanessa suddenly feels dizzy, so she abandons the practice and hits a bar to drink orange juice to recover the energy. What a coincidence, Wallace and Nate were also playing a round of darts there. Nate notices her while they are playing and moves toward her after making an excuse to Wallace for a refill. Nate invites her to join in a dart game.
I don't mix business with pleasure.
Well, that certainly wasn't a cordial exchange. Asserting that she was tired, Vanessa promptly apologized for her outburst and invited him to sit beside her. At that moment, a stranger approaches her and asks her to dance with him. While she is attempting to rebuff him, Nate pushes forward and claims to be driving her home. Vanessa tells him she can take care of herself and thanks him for sparing her from the stranger. She then asks him if the offer is valid, and Nate enthusiastically agrees to her. While driving, Nate tries to find out more about her. According to Vanessa, there isn't much to share. She wanders around painting murals in various locations. She has no place to call home. Vanessa adored the motorcycle as they got home. Nate offered to give her a ride if she wanted. When she asks if he has a bike, Nate says, "This is mine." Vanessa is astonished to see his bike parked in front of her house. Nate claims to be the son of Iris and the owner of this property. Nate states that he used to reside in Boston, but has returned home due to a personal dilemma. Vanessa calls the place beautiful. Nate thanks her for her warm compliment, and Vanessa walks away. Vanessa entered the house and found out how the bunny was doing. Additionally, she examines her bucket list to see how far she has progressed. After a while, she eventually goes to the kitchen to take her pills. That brought back memories of her battle with cancer. Samantha, her ward companion, offers her the fortitude she needs to face this cancer. Samantha gives Vanessa her trust fund and a list of tasks to accomplish. Her last request for Vanessa is to accomplish each item on the list. The following day, Vanessa meets the kids to teach them painting. Carolyn thanked her for making time for this and expressed her admiration for her work. Vanessa said, "My pleasure," and inquired about Nate. According to Carolyn, they are schoolmates. She informs her that Nate is going through a divorce as a result of his wife having an affair. Vanessa replies that's horrible and walks away. Nate shows up in the meantime and asks about Vanessa. It strikes Carolyn as weird because Vanessa posed the same query a short while ago. Carolyn stated that she is extremely creative, and her artwork is fantastic. Vanessa has painted in hospitals and public places. Her work is therapeutic. At that moment, Vanessa enters the room and accuses him of stalking her and inquiring with Carolyn about her. She interrupts Carolyn and argues that her question is flawlessly professional because they are co-workers. Nate made a pathetic justification. Vanessa ignored his explanation and stormed out of the room. That evening, Nate paid her a visit and apologized by bringing dinner. Since she was starving, she accepted his apology and food. Vanessa says the barbecue is delicious. Nate expresses gratitude and inquires about the possibility of settling down. Vanessa claims that because art lasts forever, she wants to leave her mark on the world. Nate has similar sentiments on the architectural design of his building. He lauded her paintings, vibrant color scheme, and distinctive style. Vanessa thanks him and asks him to show him images of his building. The atmosphere becomes slightly emotional as they view the images, but they quickly regain control and finish the meal. When Nate walks to the kitchen to drop plates off, he notices a lot of medicine. Vanessa becomes terrified and quickly places them in the drawer since she does not want to show this glimpse of herself. After repairing the fireplace, Nate told her he had constructed the house alongside his father but had regrettably passed away shortly after they had finished it. Vanessa apologized and showed him the list of tasks she wished to complete. They had a great time together. Nate offers to teach her how to ride a motorcycle before he leaves. Vanessa says she will think about it. The next morning, Nate questioned her about the bike lesson. In reply, Vanessa offers to pick her up at 6. Nate arrived on schedule to teach Vanessa that evening, and Vanessa was quite anxious to ride on the motorcycle. Before she rode it, he gave her some instructions. Vanessa adheres to the rules and rides her bike efficiently. However, due to her poor health, she developed breathing problems and requested Nate to take her home right away so she could get the prescription. Nate attempted to inquire about her health at home, but she abruptly changed the subject. Nate then confesses that he was recently divorced and that his ex-wife had an affair with his best client. Vanessa feels sad after hearing it. Nate is curious to know how she handles being alone. Vanessa believes that as she paints more, she comes to understand that she is not alone. Time is an excellent healer. Vanessa further says she has an early appointment and needs to sleep. Nate bids farewell and departs. Vanessa is suppressing her feelings about him, which could be related to her poor health or a lack of trust in him. The following day, she pays a visit to Dr. Vogel. Doctor suggested various tests and encouraged her to relax. She gets frustrated when Nate bumps into her in the hospital because he has invaded her privacy. Nate claimed to be worried about her. She quickly stormed off after saying that was her problem, not his. She visits Caroline, who asks Vanessa for an update on Nate. Vanessa said Nate is someone with lots of baggage. Caroline stated that everyone has baggage and that you may make an exception for the right person to let him in. Vanessa claims she is more focused on going forward than allowing in. Caroline reminds her running away is not a solution. After that, she heads to the hospital, and Nate bumps into her again to apologize to her. She receives an apology from Nate and is told that Iris has invited her to dinner. Vanessa said she would accept his apology and come to dinner if he let her borrow his bike for practice. Nate enthusiastically hands her keys and leaves. That evening, Vanessa rode her bike to Nate's house. She assisted Iris in the kitchen and disclosed that she had lost a parent when she was a little child. Iris claims that you and Nate are related in some way since you know the actual meaning of loss. At that moment, Nate arrives home, and Iris instructs him to prepare the dinner table. Nate questioned Vanessa about the remaining items on the list during supper. Following that, they proceeded on a string of dates to cross off the items on the list, which included painting, drive-in cinema, and wine sampling. One evening when Nate drops her at home, Vanessa's health deteriorates, and she suddenly collapses on the floor while taking medicine. Fortunately, Nate discovers her on the floor when he comes into the house to return her purse. He called paramedic for an assistance right away. In the hospital, Nate asks Vanessa to reveal the truth. Vanessa, regrettably, continues to be stubborn and claims to be enjoying her life according to her terms. Additionally, she is under no obligation to share her secrets. Nate bids her well before departing with disappointment. Vanessa came back to work the following day to complete the painting. When Nate shows up, Vanessa notices he's not in a good mood, so she takes the lead. Vanessa gives him some short details about her health and assures him that she is okay. Nate was still concerned despite her explanation not satisfying him. Nate then asks her to skip the rest of the day because he has plans for her. That evening, Nate fulfills one of her to-do lists by taking her to a butterfly garden. They come close and kiss one another while conversing. They lay down on the grass at night to gaze at the beauty of the sky and stars. Nate compliments her beauty, stating that she shines brighter than the stars and that Vanessa also compliments him. After spending a marvelous evening, they returned home and danced. Nate also invited her for morning breakfast before departing. Vanessa is happy and has begun to put more faith in him. The following morning, Nate's mother gives him bad news that his ex-wife is expecting a child, which infuriates him because she previously refused to have children with him. As Vanessa shows up, Nate bursts out of the house and declares that he can no longer do this. Iris makes an effort to defuse the situation by saying that he is not furious with you specifically, but rather with someone else. Vanessa, on the other hand, is not convinced and departs. In a rage, Nate made a horrible mistake that broke her heart. She has just started to trust him. Vanessa did the rock climbing alone and regret to trust him. Vanessa has accomplished almost all the items on the list except two. One is love, and the second is getting married. After that, Vanessa gets back to work. Wallace informs her that the hospital in Vermont is also interested in hiring her for the painting job. Vanessa enthusiastically agreed to the work. Afterward, Vanessa pays a visit to Doctor, and she gives her fantastic news that she will need blood work once a year. In a moment of excitement, Vanessa embraces Doctor. Vanessa then meets Iris to inform her she is leaving for Vermont for another job once she has finished the painting. She also shares good news about her health. That evening, Vanessa went to the gala. Everyone loved her mural. Caroline expressed her heartfelt gratitude for the mural. Vanessa thanked her for her kind words and said that she is now her #1 art critic. Nate arrives at the gala and attempts to explain to Vanessa what happened and why he ghosted her. On the other hand, Vanessa remarked that after having her faith betrayed once before, she had no way to do so again and left. Nate visits his mother to seek guidance. Iris claimed you spoke to her in a heartfelt manner. Just be patient with her. Nate claimed that she had a limited amount of time. Iris says that Vanessa received positive news from her doctor and would continue to improve daily. When Nate hears it, he immediately heads over to Vanessa's house. He offers her an apology and declares his love for her. Vanessa admits that she loves him as well, but warns him from ever again ghosting her. Nate assures her that he will never do such a thing, and they embrace and kiss each other. Nate then grabs a ring from the bowl and asks her to marry him. Vanessa gladly accepts his proposal. The next day, they officially married, and her list comes to an end here. So that was Art of Falling in Love. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and turn on the notification so you won't miss the next recap. Until then, cheers!